Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to You'll Never Walk Alone WhatsApp group and YouTube channel. If you'd hit the like and subscribe button, it would help out the channel a lot. And leave your comments in the sections after the video so we can reply or get some conversation going. Thank you for everyone for watching the videos. The channel's starting to take off. We got 200 and something views on the last video, which is great, you know, and I just hope for it to continue. So thank you all for your support. Okay, so Liverpool 2, Napoli 0. Sorry, I had a brain melt there. Mo Salah in the 85th minute, and then I think it was Nunez in the 94th or 5th minute in extra time. Which was lucky for Nunez because, excuse me, sorry, it was lucky for Nunez because he'd missed a very easy chance prior to that, so it was good for him to get his goal. And it was a really good performance at home in the Champions League against a side that, look, they could go far. Napoli, they're a really, really good team. They're a dark horse for this Champions League, I think. Yeah, I think so anyway. So a really good result against them. We needed a win after the weekend's debacle against Leeds. And, you know, look, a victory didn't mean anything really because we won the game, but we were never going to catch that goal difference. So we were always going to finish second in the group, unless we won 10-0, and that wasn't going to happen. So it's really just for confidence for the team. And, you know, look, we had the Man City result. That should have given us loads of confidence. We ended up losing the next game. The next league game that we should have easily won. You know, there's been so many catalysts of change coming from each result that we win, and it hasn't seemed to make any difference in the league. So let's just hope that fucking resolves itself soon. The World Cup is only 2 or 3 games away. We've got Tottenham on the weekend, who've just come off a 2-1 win of their own. But they've been patchy in the league as well. So they're not exactly a form team. And we have a chance to move up the table, put a bad weekend last weekend behind us with 2 victories this week, and the narrative changes back to whoever else is struggling. And as a fan, that's all we can hope for. It was a really good performance. It wasn't. We're not back to our blistering best or anything, but we have a load of injuries, and it is making a difference. No Luis Diaz, no Jota. We're lacking, you know, options off the bench to change games or to turn games, and that's hurting us. And, you know, as I said before, our first 11, when fit, can take on any team, but the next and the best of the rest is, you know, up and down. So, you know, obviously Jurgen had to come out this week and say he would stay and he wouldn't be quitting. Why would he quit? Honest to Christ. Like, are the media that thirsty for a story? Like, how about asking Brendan Rodgers, is he under pressure to quit when he was bottom of the fucking league? Or, you know, other teams that are struggling. Like, I saw that Conte was going when Spurs were struggling. He'll leave them. And now it's Klopp will go once we start struggling. That's a narrative that's being pumped out by media, by the way. And that social media supporters or armchair warriors are on their keyboard trying to get a momentum going. That's not going to happen. If you want change at Liverpool, the game fans who go to every match, they're the ones that are going to get the change. If they protest about ticket prices come down. If they protest about something, it gets resolved. When they protest, things happen. When people write on social media, all they do is create more toxicity that's already there. So, you know, you have to block out the noise sometimes. And this is more to the younger fans who, you know, go from adulation to despair very, very quickly. Football is an emotional game, of course, and we do get emotionally invested into it, the team and into the players and into the manager. But Jurgen Klopp is one of the best managers alive, if not the second best to Klopp or to Pep. He's up there as the best. So why the fuck would we want him to resign, push him out, or get rid of him? To get in someone worse? Because unless we're getting fucking Pep, it's going to be worse. Just remember that. Okay. Obviously, it's Tottenham on the weekend. We need to win that. They've just come off a big win on the week on midweek as well. Big game for us. If we could win that and get 3 points, it'd be huge. This team needs momentum, and victories is what will give us momentum. I think there's a couple of stupid cup games in there before we finish up, before the World Cup. Play the reserves. I couldn't give a fuck about the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. Could not give a flying fuck. I don't care that we won it last year. You know what I mean? It was nice to win them because Klopp hadn't won any. But yeah, I couldn't care less. So it's League and Champions League is the only thing that matters this season. We've got to improve our league position, and we've got to keep going to the Champions League for some sort of success this year, in my opinion. Okay, hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and leave your comments in the section below whether you agree or don't agree. I'll get on to the player ratings. See you for Spurs. Ratings between Napoli and Liverpool. So obviously the game, as I said in the review, was 2-0, and we usually talk about the game and the coming games coming up and what it means for us in the reviews, and then I'll go into detail on the players in the reviews. So Ali didn't have much to do. Whatever he had to do, he did alright. A couple of clean saves, nothing too extreme. So I'm going to give him a 7. Trent, look, I was worried at the start of this because their star player was who Trent was marked to be marking, which he did mark, and he was their informed guy, and their best player on their team, and I had visions and nightmares about that. But after a few shaky minutes at the start, I thought he did really well against him, and he became very ineffective. I know he skinned them a few times and stuff, but I don't mind that. You can get beaten by players. That's not the problem we have with Trent's defending. The problem we have with Trent's defending is he doesn't fucking see the players coming in and scoring, and they're going in scoring goals without him knowing they're there. That's our problem. If he's chasing players and running with the player and trying to make a tackle and gets beaten, that's fine. We're not expecting him to stop every fucking ball coming across. No right back does. But it's so he can defend. It's concentration is his issue. When he's focused and concentrated, he seems to make better decisions. I think he needs to improve still on both. I think there's room for improvement there. But I can see more now, as the season's gone on, that Trent's abilities is concentration is what he needs to focus more on, and keep his head in the game for the full 90 minutes. But that will come. But he's very experienced now, so you can't really class him as a young player. He's coming into his prime. He's got to learn to switch on for the whole game. But a much better performance. Kanate 8 was my man of the match because he was a colossus in the centre-back position. After, let's be real, that hasn't been our strongest position this season, to put it fucking mildly. Van Dijk automatically gets 7 out of 10 because he just looks better with a better player next to him. I'm not pissing on Joe Gomez because I thought he was great the other 2 or 3 weeks ago, but Kanate is a far superior centre back, and Van Dijk plays better with Kanate than he does with anybody else other than Matip maybe. Simicast 6, he did okay. He was alright. He didn't light the game up or anything, but he didn't embarrass himself either. Into midfield, we played a 4-3-3 as we do in Europe. Thiago 7. There's a touch of class with Thiago, and I've gushed about him so much. So my thing is, if players just put in the normal performances, I usually just give them the rating and skip over them. If players are below performance or above performance levels, then I'll go into on them. So Fabi gets a 6 being the average. I don't know what's happened to him. People are saying change of formation, but that hasn't changed the midfield. Even if we go to a 4-4-2 from a 4-3-3, it doesn't change the midfield for him at all. So it really is strange. He's playing with like an injury or something. Milner 7. I was worried about Jimmy in midfield, if I'm going to be fair. I don't think he has the legs, but at home with the crowd, Champions League game, you know what he's going to put in. And I thought he was quite effective on the right hand side of the midfield. I really did. But I have a soft spot for Milner, so I look at him through rose-coloured tinted glasses. So you have to give me that. I love him. He's a great professional, and he's only a few years younger than me. So obviously, I've watched him his whole career. It's like watching someone that you know growing up, and he's still fucking playing, and he's still playing at a really, really high level. So yeah, I have a little thing for Jimmy Milner, just what type of professional he is. Salah got his goal 7, Bobby 6. He was neat and tidy, and he you know, he's influential in the way we play. Curtis I'm giving a 7 to. I thought he did really well. He hasn't started many games after injury. I don't think Napoli knew what to do with him. And you know, he's got tricky feet, got lovely poise, and you know, he looked really good when he was on, to be fair. Obviously Elliott came on, he's getting a 7. I thought he was really good in his and Nunez is getting a 7 because you know, he came on and scored a goal. And look, a lot of talk about Nunez from rival fans, giving us a lot of shit about all the chances he needs and everything. Listen, he's raw. He is fucking raw. You can see how fast he is. You can see he's got an eye for goal. You can see how good he is with his head. But he's got a load of issues that get ironed out with experience and age and coaching. He's going to be some player when we finish polishing him up. He is so like Suarez. Suarez wasn't polished when he came to Liverpool. He wasn't. He was rough. He was reckless. He was exciting. He's all the things Nunez is, but he had that killer instinct in front of goal. And I think Nunez could be maybe not as good as Suarez was, but I think there's a potential to be a real player in there and someone that we come to adore. Now, I know the fans are getting really, they chant his name and all. He's young, he's come from a different league, he can't speak the language, and he came for a ton of fucking money. So the Cop fans will always appreciate how much pressure he's under to perform, and they will support him. He is going to be some player, but as I said, he's young and he's very raw, and you can see it's all there. You just can see that it needs to be polished up. Like, he's rough. Anyway, Klopp gets an 8. This is a much better performance, Jurgen. You've been very good in the Champions League, so there's no complaints from me. You know, you won't fear getting anyone in the next round. Your team is looking good in Europe this year, so there can be no complaints. Whatever happens in the league is in the league. This is Champions League night, so we're only judging him on his team performances tonight, as it's a game-by-game analysis, not by the season. We'll do that at the end. But yes, I think for the performance, the pressure he was under, people ask him, is he going to fucking resign? I think 8 out of 10 is more than appropriate. Okay, that's the player ratings done. See ya.